What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/TalesFromRetail. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode. This story's called The Tale of the French Customer. Some background for those who have not read any of my other posts. I, 20-plus male, work in a health food store in Israel. I am currently middle management, but at the time of the story, I was just a cashier and shelf stocker. It is also important to know that lately, one of the nearby neighborhoods has been filling up with French migrants, most of them religious people looking for homes in the Holy Land. Most of them are nice enough and I have no issue with them. This is an exception. One afternoon, as I am reorganizing a section of the store, an old lady, French lady, henceforth, comes up to me and starts asking me something in French. I smile politely and say both in English and Hebrew that I apologize but I don't speak French and thus cannot help her. French lady in Hebrew, I don't speak Hebrew or English, so you have to help me in French. I'm sorry, but as I said, I don't speak French. French lady huffs and walks away. I am later told by my coworkers that she went through the same conversation with all of them as well during this time. About half an hour later, I am at the register with my direct supervisor and great friend that we'll call Mike, fake name, when French lady comes to checkout. I ring her items through and ask if she has a membership. This is when she explodes. Why are you still talking to me in Hebrew? I told you I only speak French. I'm sorry, ma'am, but as I said before, I don't speak French, only Hebrew and English. Well, I just moved here from France, so I deserve service in French. I'm sorry, but I can't help with that. At this point, she berates me, my coworkers, and the store itself for our bad service and horrible treatment of customers. I've had enough, but the store manager puts emphasis on customer experience, so I suck it up and respond, I'm sorry, ma'am, but this is Israel, and the official language here is Hebrew. So that is what our employees are required to know. We happen to have workers right now that additionally speak English, Arabic, Russian, Portuguese, and some Japanese. We will gladly help you in any language we speak, but we just can't speak French. She was not happy at that, but after some additional grumbling, she paid and left. Day 2. The next day, we are celebrating a coworker's birthday in the store. We bought cake and candles, opened a bottle of wine, and were singing happy birthday when she walks in and interrupts to ask for the manager. Manager goes to the side to speak with her, and it is very clear that they are talking about me as she is staring and pointing right at me. I'm not too worried as I did nothing wrong and the manager is a cool guy. When they finish speaking, manager comes up to me. OP, this lady is claiming you screamed at her that this is Israel and we speak Hebrew here and refused to assist her in any other language. You know that's Bolivian sandals, right? I've never said anything like that. I help out customers in English all the time. I know, just apologize to her so I don't have to deal with this. I go to apologize. Excuse me, French lady. I think there was a misunderstanding yesterday. I never meant to say anything of the sort and am truly sorry if that's the way you understood me. No, there was no misunderstanding. You know what you meant to say. At this point, I am dumbfounded. How can you know what I meant? You know what? Never mind. You are right, and I am wrong. I apologize, and I walk away. Mike asked me what all that was about, so I tell him. It is important to note that Mike grew up in the US, and while he can understand Hebrew just fine, it is easier for him to speak English, so that's how we have always communicated. Therefore, he knows her story is Bolivian sandals. At this point, Mike is getting annoyed with French lady for lying about his workers and friends, so we start plotting our revenge. Part 3. French lady is becoming irregular and we learn her routine. The first thing we notice is that she usually is shopping in a hurry. The second thing is that she always calls ahead so that we have her specific item aside. We save her products just as she requests. French lady walks into the store and asks Mike to fetch her items for her as she's in a hurry. Mike slowly bends down to look at the shelf under the register where they are kept, opens up his phone and starts scrolling through Twitter while moving things about on the shelf so it sounds like he's looking. He takes a full 5 minutes just to pull the items off the shelf and hands them to her with his best customer service smile. French lady seems ticked but does not complain, simply pays for her stuff and leaves. We turned this into a routine. Twice a week, every week, we waste 5 more minutes of her time. French lady gets used to this delay, so now we have to find a new revenge. Part 4. French lady walks into the store on a relatively quiet day and goes about her shopping. She approaches the register where I am waiting and requests someone else ring her up as I am rude and unacceptable. Mike gladly steps in and proceeds to waste more of her precious time. First, he claims a product code reader is broken and he has to type out all the codes one by one. Then make sure to type everything super slowly, making as many mistakes as possible along the way that he then has to go back and fix one by one. Mike also makes sure to type out the entire 15-digit codes, although only the last 6 are necessary. He's at least 10 full minutes into ringing her up when he notices one of the items she chose has a different brand on sale, so he offers to go get one for her. Because why should she go through that trouble when he can do that for her? She agrees, so French lady spends the next 10 minutes waiting for Mike as he walks around to the item, helping other customers along the way. Mike returns with the item on sale, but all 4 different flavors, and explains he simply didn't want to pick out the wrong one for her. French lady picks out one flavor, and Mike excuses himself again to return the unwanted flavors, helping out customers along his way once again. At this point, Mike has been ringing French lady through for around half an hour. When the last item is run through, French lady asks Mike to put it on her membership, and I can't help grinning wildly as he apologizes and tells her her membership needs to be put on first for the sales to go through properly, erases the bill, and starts the whole process over again. All in all, her bill of around 20 items took 40 to 45 minutes. Note: it has been over a year since this story took place. French lady has become a regular, buying in the store between 2 and 5 times a week. She still causes trouble every now and again, and she still hates me no matter what I do. If you are interested, I will write down some more of my encounters with her. Oh, and every once in a while, she still asks for help in French. P.S. I know the word customer spelled wrong in the title, I can't change it. Yo, I've heard that French people can be soup-stoops rude. Not every French person, but I hear that it's a common thing to encounter a jerky French person. This story's called All She Wanted to Know Was Where the Electric Blankets Were. This happened to me this weekend. I work at a big box store and was covering the home goods departments and someone called out. Side note, it's not my normal department. I normally work in either kitchenware or the seasonal section, but I have worked in this section enough to know what we do and don't have and where stuff is. Anyway, I was stocking a shelf when this older woman comes up to me. For this story, we are going to call her Old Hag. She steps a little too close to me. Excuse me. Her breath was awful. I noticed she had plastic food prep gloves on her hands as I took a step back, plastering a smile on my face. Hi, what can I do for you? Where are your electric blankets? I'm sorry, ma'am. We are sold out of them. How do you know that? I saw them go on clearance about 2 months ago, and I haven't seen them since. Okay, can you get me someone who actually works in this department? Clearly you don't know what you have. I was stunned. I've never had a customer say this to me before. Well, ma'am, I'm in this department today, so I work in this section. Like I said, I know we are out of electric blankets in this section, but you could try the camping section and sporting goods. There's a chance it would be over there. Well, what would an electric blanket be doing in the camping section? I'm not sure. I know there are air mattresses over there, and I thought I saw some over there before, so there's a chance there could be. So you're telling me that you actually have electric blankets? Why would you lie? I just stared at her, not sure what to say. Are you stupid? Can't you understand me? I let out a small laugh. I've never had a customer be this rude, and for some reason, I found the situation absurd and somewhat hilarious. Look, ma'am, like I said earlier, we are out of electric blankets. If the store has any, they might be in camping. If they're not there, we are completely sold out. It was the old hag's turn to stare at me. What's your name? OP. Okay, OP. You know why I asked you that? You don't have your name badge on and you've been very rude to me. I'm going to report you. And with that, she stormed off. I promptly called my manager and informed him what happened. He said not to worry about it and thanked me for letting him know. 30 minutes later, my coworker, we'll call her Amy, who works at guest service, comes up to me and recounts her experience with Old Hag. Apparently, she was mad I had sent her to the camping section and called me a moron to Amy. Amy apologized for what happened and offered to look up if we had any electric blankets at the other stores. She grabbed a device to pull up the information. Side note, it's basically a glorified smartphone. Old Hag didn't like this one bit.
Why are you looking that up on your phone? You should know what the other stores have. You look really stupid doing that.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but since it's February, there's a chance they could be sold out in other stores, so I'm seeing which ones have it. Unfortunately, the closest store that had it was 15 miles away. Amy informed Old Hag of that, but she was having none of it. I'm sorry, ma'am, but we are out of it. You might want to try a different store.
But how am I supposed to exchange my electric blanket if I go to another store?
Amy told me that was the first time she had ever heard the lady ever mention an exchange. But with the patience of a saint, she played along. Oh, you have an exchange. That is unfortunate. We are out of electric blankets, but we could give you a refund for it instead.
But what would I do with the refunds? All I want is an exchange. How hard is it for you people to understand that? You and that other girl are morons. You all have no idea how to treat customers. What is your name?
Amy said she had pointed to her name badge and said her name.
You have been rude to me, Amy. I'm going to report you and that moron that have sent me to camping. Who's your store manager? I want his number.
Well, he's actually still here if you want to talk to him. I can call him up.
That's not what I asked. I want his name and his number so I can call him and report y'all.
Amy proceeded to give her our store manager's business card, and she later recounts Old Hag snatching it from her hand and storming off. Amy and I had a good laugh over the situation as we both wondered what had set this woman off to be so rude to us. Thankfully, the store manager and our respective department managers took our sides and we have nothing to worry about. Old Hag might want to step up her hygiene game if she wants to make it out of this whole potdemic. This story's called Guy Steals Pack of Cigarettes, Leaves Behind Drill. Little bit of backstory. I used to work at a gas station located a few blocks away from a large college campus in our town. Being so close to campus, about half of our customers are rowdy college students. My town had voted to raise the tobacco age to 21, and it had gone into effect a few months prior. It's a calm Saturday afternoon, and so far nothing eventful has happened to me and the shift lead. A young guy walks in and comes over to my register and asks me for a pack of Newport 100s. It looks like he's 18 at the oldest, so I grab the cigarettes while I ask to see his ID. Can I see your ID, please? I guess so. He hands it to me. It's expired, though. I'm sorry, but our company policy prohibits me from completing the sale without a valid photo ID. I start to hand it back. Him looking confused. Would you be able to take an insurance card? Me looking even more confused. An insurance card? Like a car insurance card? Yeah! No, a car insurance card isn't a form of ID. I need to see an unexpired photo ID or an expired photo ID with stamped renewal papers from the DMV. Oh, I have the papers with me. He pulls them out of his wallet. Awesome. I set the cigarettes on the counter next to my register. I need to take a look at them so I can verify all the information and get you rung up. The papers are folded up, so I set his ID down and use both hands to unfold them. As I'm unfolding the papers, I look over and notice that the cigarettes and his ID are now in his hands. I still need to scan the cigarettes and type in the info from your ID. I reaches my hand out so he can give them back. He ignores me and starts walking towards the door. I start talking louder at him. Dude, I still need those. He's completely outside the store at this point, so I hand the papers to the shift lead and ask him to finish unfolding them. I grab the phone and stand by the door to watch what the guy is doing and to get his plate number. He gets into his car and starts backing up out of the spot and backs up a good 20 feet to the road. All of a sudden, he starts pulling back into the parking lot. He drives back to where he was parked originally and pulls his vehicle up onto the sidewalk in front of the door, facing towards the security camera. As I'm standing there in disbelief, I watch him open the driver's door, lean out, and put a cordless drill on the sidewalk. He shuts his door again, lurches the vehicle off the sidewalk, and guns it. We call it in and tell the police what happened and where he went. We describe the car to them, and then they ask what the plate number was. Well, we don't have a plate number. The car didn't have plates. Well, that makes it a little trickier then. We'll send an officer over. While we're waiting for the officer, the shift lead grabs a plastic bag and goes to grab the drill. We wrap it up and leave it up front so the officer can take it with him when he goes back to the station. He gets there about 30 to 45 minutes later, and the shift lead takes him to the back to watch the camera footage. They come back about 10 minutes later, both chuckling.
He just left a drill behind? That's one of the weirdest things I've seen in a while. We'll try to locate the guy for you.
I never heard if they caught the guy, but we definitely got a good story out of the situation. Hey man, that was pretty lame that you called the cops on the guy. He was just trying to do an not completely old-fashioned barter, because he left and then that was a weird barter, but it was a barter, come on. You gotta accept the old ways every once in a while. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.